Happy morning to one and all. So in this session, first we'll discuss about the problems in the chapter of PGBP, and then we'll proceed with further topics as per our plan, which we have discussed yesterday, right? So first is what we'll plan is, I'll just solve a few problems for you first, maybe 2 or 3 problems, and then I'll just give you problems for you to solve from your end, so that once you solve it, we can just discuss and close it up, right? So Naveen, am I audible?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can I just read this question? Question number 1.
During the previous year 2022 to 23, profit and loss account of Sri Raj, proprietor of Raj Enterprises, engaged in the business of ready-made garments, shows profit compute his taxable income from business. Interest on capital 5,000, purchases.
Just a minute. Read fully here. Shows profit of
Profit of 1,50,000 with the following information. Compute his taxable income from business. Interest on capital 5,000. Purchases include goods of 12,000 from his younger brother in cash. However, market value of such goods is 9,000. Interest paid outside India 1 lakh without deducting tax at source. Penalty paid to government for non-filing of GST return 5,000. Penalty paid to customer for non-fulfilling of order within time 10,000.
I guess there is some network issue. So next is bad debts of rupees 1 lakh. Money has been advanced for purchase of building. Revenue expenditure on promoting family planning expenditure among employees 10,000. Premium paid on health of employees rupees 6,000 in cash. Premium paid on health of his relatives rupees 6,000 in check. Employer's contribution to recognized provident fund rupees 12,000. One half of the amount is paid after the due date as per relevant act, but before 31st March 2023. Employee's contribution to recognized provident fund rupees 10,000. Half of the amount is paid after the due date as per the relevant act. Interest on late payment of professional tax rupees 1,000 yet to be paid. Interest on loan from State Bank of India rupees 10,000. Rupees 5,000 is not paid till the date of filing the return of income. Interest on late refund from Income Tax Department 500. Sales include sale to Raj rupees 10,000. Cost of goods 8,000. Market value of such goods 12,000. He received rupees 80,000 from a debtor at a time in cash. Recovery of bad debts rupees 10,000, out of which rupees 8,000 was allowed as deduction during the assessment year 18-19. Depreciation not being debited in the accounts 20,000 allowed as per section 22. Right. So this is the question. So first, how should we proceed with this question is, first take the net profit whichever is given, right? So this net profit should first be posted. Shows a profit of 1,50,000. So first post this 1,50,000 profit as per PN, right? So after posting net profit as per PNL, what we should just do is we should divide the entire answer into 4 parts. First one is add expenditure debited in PNL account but not allowable as per Income Tax Act. Next is add income not credited in PNL account but taxable under Income Tax Act. Next is less expenditure not debited in PNL but allowable as per Income Tax Act. Fourth less is income credited in PNL but not taxable or taxable under this head of income. So these are the 4 heads under which we should proceed. First, interest on capital. Can interest on capital be allowed as deduction? No, it cannot be allowed as deduction. So what you should just do, post the amount, put the note number. I have not given the notes, but in exam notes are compulsory, right? Notes. Interest on capital is not allowed as a deduction as per section 56. Okay, wow. ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு பாயிண்ட்டுக்கும் ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்காக யூ ஷுட் கிவ் நோட்ஸ். இஃப் யூ ஆர் ஜஸ்ட் கோயிங் டு ரைட் ஃபார் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ஆன் கேபிட்டல், அந்த இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ஆன் கேபிட்டல் எதனால நீ ஆட் பண்ணுறன்றது இங்கே ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்காக கொடுக்கணும். வாட்ஸ் எவர் யூ ஆர் ஆடிங் ஆர் யூ ஆர் சப்ராக்டிங், யூ ஷுட் கிவ் ரீசன்ஸ் ஃபார் இட், ரைட்? So that is the first point. Second, purchases include goods of rupees 12,000 from his younger brother in cash. However, the market value of such goods is 9,000. So what is the excess expenditure? It is 3,000. So the 3,000 is to be added back. Related party expenditure, right? Next, interest paid outside India rupees 1 lakh without deduction of tax at source. So if payment is being made out to a person outside India without deduction of tax at source, the entire amount is to be disallowed. You can do it either as per 40I or even as per section 36. In both those sections, you can just mention. So in the 1 lakh one, it should be fully disallowed. Okay, wow. Next, penalty paid to government for non-filing of GST return, 5,000. Penalty paid to government, 5,000. It is to be disallowed because this is not a legal expenditure. Next is penalty paid to customer for non-fulfilling of order within time. No adjustment is required for this because it is not paid to the government. It is not a breach of law. So on the reason this is not required to be disallowed. Next is bad debts. Adanal on the point in the point number 5 hour. So basically what I'm just trying to do is I just want you to solve the problem this way. Read the question, post the adjustment. You cannot write it as per first net profit as per P&L போட்டுட்டு எல்லா ஆடையும் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் முடிச்சுட்டு எல்லா லெஸ்ஸையும் அப்புறமா போட முடியாது. how we will do the final accounts அதே மாதிரி போடுறது தான் it is very very easy, right? Next, sixth point, bad debts, rupees 1 lakh. Money has been advanced for purchase of building. So money has been advanced for purchase of building. It is not for the purposes of business, right? So அதனால this is to be disallowed. Next, revenue expenditure on promotion of family planning among employees. So in the expense பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் இதில் என்ன இஷ்யூனா, it is promotion of family planning among employees ன்னு கொடுத்துட்டு, but I guess he is an individual. Yeah. So this can be claimed as deduction. So since it can be claimed as deduction, no amount is required to be disallowed. அதனால இங்க எந்த இதுமே வந்திருக்காது. Next is premium paid on health of employees rupees 6,000 in cash. Since it is 6,000 in cash, you cannot claim it as deduction. More than 5, what to say? It is not in check, and உனக்கு இன்சூரன்ஸ் ப்ரீமியம் if it is fully in check மட்டும் தான் நம்மளால claim பண்ண முடியும். இது on health of his relatives. So relatives இருக்கிறது you cannot claim it as deduction. So that is also to be disallowed. Next is to employers' contribution to RPF rupees 12,000. 1/2 of the amount is paid after the due date as per relevant act, but before 31st March 2023. இதுக்கு no adjustment is required because employers' contribution the time limit is as per 43B is 139(1) due date. இங்க it is paid before 139(1) due date. So employers' contribution you need not do anything. Next is employees' contribution. Employees' contribution the half of the amount மட்டும் it is to be disallowed because it is paid after the due date as per the relevant act. So in the 5,000 மட்டும் it will be disallowed, right? So next is interest on loan from State Bank of India rupees 10,000. Rupees 5,000 is not paid till the date of filing the return of income. This is a scheduled bank. So scheduled bank interest is to be paid before 139(1) due date. So since it is not paid before 139(1) due date, it is to be disallowed. So this 5,000 is disallowed, right? Next point, interest on late refund from income tax department rupees 500. This is our income. Okay. Next, sales include sales to Raj rupees 10,000. Cost of such goods is 8,000. Market value of such goods is 12,000. So can someone guess what is the adjustment for this? Naveen, what is the adjustment for this? What is to be done?
Sir, market value எடுத்துக்கலாமா sir?
Market value appa?
Well,
actually can a sale be done to himself? இந்த சேல் இருக்கு இல்லையா, இந்த சேல்ஸ் யாருக்கு ஆக்சுவலி நடந்திருக்கு?
ராஜ் சார்.
Who's Raj? He's the proprietor.
Okay sir.
So a person cannot sell goods to himself, இல்லையா? So in the sales I should eliminate the entire sales. This 10,000 I should eliminate the entire 10,000. So I should subtract it.
Okay sir.
This 10,000 will subtract. After subtracting this 10,000, in the cost of goods sold 8,000 இருக்கு இல்லையா, இந்த 8,000 வந்து I should take it to my capital account as drawings because this is cost and it is to be reduced from profits. So அதனால அந்த drawings-ஓட part இங்க கொண்டு வந்துட்டோம். Okay, so this is one peculiar adjustment in this question because it has nothing to do with income tax. This is basically accounting. Okay, so next point, received rupees 80,000 from a debtor in cash at a time. So 80,000 from a debtor in cash at a time, nothing to be done here actually. Next is recovery of bad debts, rupees 10,000, out of which rupees 8,000 was allowed as reduction during 1819. So 8,000 was allowed as reduction. So what, to the extent it is allowed, recovery of bad debts is taxable. So in the 8,000 alone, it is taxable now. So இங்க என்ன நடந்திருக்கும்னா, again this entire 10,000 would have been credited to P&L. So but நமக்கு எவ்வளவு tax பண்ணணும், 8,000 தான் tax பண்ணணும் இல்லையா? So in the remaining 2,000 I'll be removing it. It is not taxable. Depreciation not debited in the books of accounts rupees 20,000 and the 20,000 இங்க வந்துருச்சு, அவ்வளவுதான். So first and then addition of 2,43,000 minus 20,000 minus 12,500, I'll get taxable income as per PGBP as 3,60,500. Only point is, since just for want of time I have not given you the notes, but for every line you have to give notes as to why you are adding it or subtracting it. Is this question clear? Question number 1.
Yes, sir.
Okay, shall we go to question number 2? You want to solve this question or you want me to solve this question? Yes, can you try this question? Hello, can you try this or you want me to solve this?
Sir, நீங்க பண்ணுங்க sir.
Sure, not an issue. Read the question.
Dr. Rohan, 82 years old resident, surgeon, having his nursing home in Mumbai, gives the following particulars for the year ended on 31st/3/2023. Opening balance brought down 1,25,000. Fees from visits to other hospitals net 5,85,000. Fees for March 2021 received in April 2021 85,000. IPD 40,000, OPD 45,000. Dividend from shares net 18,900. Fees received during the year 10,25,000. Gifts received from relatives of patients 45,000. Honorarium for painting services in Jai Hind Art School net 22,500. Income tax refund including interest 1,500, 12,100. Salary to staff 3,50,000. Taxes and insurance 26,000. Entertainment expenses 1,10,000. Purchase of television 48,000. Gift to daughter-in-law 60,000. Interest on loan for repairs to property 65,000. Personal medical expenses 70,000. Deposits in PPF account 55,000. Nursing home expenses 3,75,000. Professional fees paid for consulting services 1,20,000. Purchase of furniture at home 1,35,000. Personal expenses 3 lakh. Balance carry forward 2,04,500. Other information, he keeps his books of accounts on cash basis and has not opted for the provisions of section 44 ADA. Salary includes 60,000 paid to his sister who is a qualified nurse paid in cash. Entertainment expenses include 25,000 for dinner to daughters in a 5-star hotel. Interest on loan for repairs to property includes 40,000 for his residential property. His daughter-in-law earned income of 10,000 from the amount received as gift. Fixed asset values as on 1/4/2021 are as under: nursing home equipments 2,20,000, medical books inclusive annual publications 10,000, 35,000, laptop 40,000. Television purchased for nursing home purpose on 21/9/2022 is put to use on 3/10 2022. He has donated 10,000 towards PM Cares Fund on 15/8/2022. You are required to compute income under the head PGBP and the income from house property for Dr. Rogan, November 22 CN.
Yeah, this is a very good question. Just try this. Maybe you could get this type of a question. So just try. I'm not expecting you to get a right answer. Just try for 10 minutes. In adjustments varundradha mattum paru. This is a very beautiful question. So from that, I'll just discuss. Okay. The first point in the question, what we should just see is, he is maintaining his books of accounts on cash basis. Right? So cash basis of accounting is a recognized method of accounting for the purposes of taxation. So cash basis of accounting na enna appadina. So whenever a person receives money, it is treated as his income. Whenever he is expensing it, that is treated as his expense. So pay panna expense காசு உள்ள வந்தா income. It is not accrual. அப்படியே accrual க்கு opposite. Okay ba? So that is the first point which you just need to check. So this is receipts and payments account, which you could see here. So receipts and payments account, what will be my opening balance? What is my opening balance in receipts and payments account? Hello? Hello?
The last year income.
Last year income receipts and payments la unakku opening irukaduppa. Idu vandu basically unakku or cash book mari dhaan. Okay va? So this will generally be your what to say cash balance dhaan. Okay. So opening cash balance plus all the receipts minus all the payments will give you what? Closing cash balance. This is nothing but your cash book. Okay. So in the rendu நம்ம எதுவும் பண்ண வேண்டாம். Fees from visits to other hospitals net 5,85,000 அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. கரெக்டா? ஸோ இப்போ ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு பாயிண்ட் பாரு, நெட் ஆஃப் 5,85,000னா அப்போ கிராஸ் அமௌண்ட் எவ்வளோ இருக்கும்? Is there any TDS which is required to be deducted? Hello? Hello?
So professional fees TDS பிடிக்கலாமா சார்?
TDS பிடிப்பாங்க. எவ்வளோ பர்சன்டேஜில் பிடிப்பாங்க?
சார் 194J.
194Jல என்ன ரேட்டு?
தெரியல சார்.
194Jல ரேட் வந்து 10%. ஓகேவா?
Okay.
Since it is 10%, so நெட்டா வந்து 5,85,000 வந்திருக்கு. So I need to find what is the gross. So 5,85,000 divided by 90%. What is the gross amount? Gross amount is 6,50,000. 6,50,000. In the 6,50,000 தான் இங்க இருக்கு. Okay. Next. Fees for March 22 received in April 22. இந்த இது பொறுத்த வரைக்கும், since he is going to follow cash basis of accounting, whenever the amount is received, only in that year it is taxable. So this 85,000 is taxable in the current year. This 85,000 is taxable in the current year. So total amount is 1 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 20. I mean, I guess there is something wrong here. Just give me a minute. Yeah, okay. Then this is fees received during the year, 10 lakhs 25,000. This is the fees received during the year, which is 10 lakhs 25,000. In the 40,000 plus 45,000, the மேலே 85,000 கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. So this amount is also done. So dividend from shares net, இது வந்து it is not taxable under the head PGBP, it is taxable under the head income from other sources. Correct? So அதனால since it is not been included, I am not also including it. right? Next, gift received from relatives of patients. Gifts received from relatives of patient is taxable. 28 is tax panirano. So this is 45,000. It is to be taxed here. Next, honorarium for painting services in Jai Hindi Art School. This is taxable as income from other sources. Hence, it is not required to be dealt here with. Next, income tax refund including interest. Interest alone is taxable under income from other sources. Okay, so this 12,100 is also, we have to do nothing with this 12,200. Next, salary to staff 3,50,000. Can I claim it as deduction? Yes. Hello.
Yes, sir.
You can claim it as deduction. I'll just put it this way. Wait. So salary to nurse, is there an adjustment? There is an adjustment. Adjustment is adjustment number. Next, taxes and insurance adjustment. Like entertainment expenses, there is an adjustment. Just at the end, the adjustment number interest on loan for repairs to property include 40,000. Where is repairs? Interest on loan for repairs of property. There is an adjustment. E. His daughter-in-law earned income of 10,000 from the amount received as gift. Fixed assets values. This is not a problem. This 10,000 is also not a problem. Okay, ma'am. So first, if there is an adjustment, we just need to see what is that adjustment. So 3,50,000. There is an adjustment. We'll just wait for it. Next, what is taxes and insurance? 26,000. So in the 26,000, I will claim it as deduction. Next, entertainment expenses 1,10,000. So 1,10,000 entertainment expenses include 25,000 for dinner to doctors in a 5-star hotel. So there is nothing wrong in giving there is no embargo on giving treat to the doctors, his professional colleagues. So that is not a problem. It can be claimed as deduction. Next, purchase of television. Otherwise, it is a capital expenditure. You can only claim depreciation. Correct? Next, gift to daughter-in-law 60,000. It cannot be claimed as deduction. However, and the daughter-in-law வந்து 10,000 earn பண்ணிருக்காங்க. So that will come under clubbing. இங்க எதுவும் அதனால problem கிடையாது. So PGBP there is no issue for it. Next, interest on loan for repairs to property rupees 65,000. There is an adjustment. What is that? Interest on loan for repairs to property include rupees 40,000 for his residential property. So 40,000 for his residential property cannot be claimed as deduction. So remaining 25,000 alone can be claimed as deduction. So this 25,000 alone can be claimed as deduction. Next is personal medical expenses of 70,000 cannot be claimed as expenditure. It can be claimed as what is his age? His age is 82. Since his age is 82, if he is not going to have any medical policy, it can be claimed as deduction under 80D, but you cannot claim it as deduction here, right? Next, deposits in PPF account can be claimed under Chapter 6A. It has nothing to do here. Nursing home expenses 3,75,000 can be claimed as deduction. Nursing home expenses 3,75,000. Next, professional fees paid for consulting services 1,20,000. It can be claimed as deduction. 1,20,000. Next, purchase of furniture at home. Nothing done here. Next is personal expenses of 3 lakhs cannot be claimed as deduction. Okay, va. அதுக்கப்புறமா ஒரு point which you have not seen touched upon is salary to staff 3,50,000, of which 60,000 is paid to his sister. So அதனால remaining 2,90,000 மட்டும் you are claiming it as deduction. However, you can also take another stand that even though 60,000 is paid to his sister who is qualified, இது in cash ன்றதுனால 48(3) வந்து உனக்கு disallow ஆயிடும். Correct? So if it is more than 10,000 and if it is paid, if it is more than 10,000, you cannot claim it as deduction. Yeah. So even though it is paying to sister who is a qualified nurse is not a problem, but that being paid in cash is a problem. So you can also take a stand that this is, if it is a monthly payment, 48(3) will not be attracted. அப்படின்றது correct point. Since this is not a monthly payment, you can claim it as deduction. If you are assuming it to be a one-time payment, this cannot be claimed as deduction. I am assuming it to be a one-time payment. Okay, ma? நெக்ஸ்ட் வந்து இப்போ இந்த 3,50,000 60 போச்சுன்னா 2,90,000 that is claimed here. Next is we just need to check for depreciation. So nursing home equipments 2,20,000 it is here, 2,20,000, 2,20,000. Medical books including annual publications 35,000, medical books 35,000. Next is laptops 40,000, 40,000. Okay, wow. And then per television purchased during the year 48,000, 48,000. So television purchased on 21/9/22 put to use on 30/10/2022. So it is put to use for more than 180 days, not an issue. So you just need to take the rate of 15%, 2,20,000, 35, 40, 48, and then we just need to find the depreciation at the specified rates. So your total depreciation is going to come to around 70,200. So this is my total gross receipts, this is my total expenses, this is my total income. So இது வந்து என்ன method of இதுனா you are finding the entire total income. இங்க வந்து it is not based on P&L account. If it is based on P&L account, you will be adding 2 additions and 2 subtractions. If it is going to be based on receipts and payments account, you will not have anything. You should only find the profits. Taking the gross receipts, subtracting the expenses, you should only find the profits. Right? So that is in relation to question number 2, based on receipts and payments account. This one is done. Now we'll go to question number 3. Yeah, I mean, can you just read this question? Naveen?
Okay, sir. Mrs. Nisa, a resident individual aged 54 years, is carrying on business of manufacturing of textile fabrics as a proprietor. The turnover in the previous year 2021 to 22 was 250 lakhs, and in the current previous year 2022 to 23 it is 600 lakhs. The net profit as per the profit and loss account as on 31st/3/2023 is 5,61,000. She provides the following additional information. Those were not considered while making the profit and loss account for the previous year 2022 to 23. Depreciation has not been debited to P&L account. The details of the plant and machinery employed in the business are given as under. Date, particulars, amount. 1/4/2021 opening written down value of machinery used for manufacturing purpose 4,75,000. 3/7/21 new machinery purchased during the year, payment made by an account pay check 7,25,000. 10/3/23 sold one of the old machine 75,000. She does not have any other fixed assets employed in the business. Received subsidy of 20% on new machine purchased on 3/7/22 during the previous year under Technology Upgradation Fund Scheme from the central government. She paid a job charges for the value addition on the fabrics 90,000 without deduction of tax to job worker by an account payee check. Commission paid to one agent allowed as deduction in earlier assessment year amounting 50,000 has now been received back during previous year 2022 to 23 from the agent due to settlement with commission agent. 25,000 paid to creditor for goods in cash. Incurred loss of 1,17,500 from an eligible transaction carried out in respect of trading in derivatives in a recognized stock exchange. She received 60,000 by premature withdrawals from deposit including interest rupees 5,000 in post office time deposit eligible for deduction under section 80C. She sold her gold bracelet jewelry used by her for personal purposes on 1/5/22 for 5 lakh, which was acquired for 40,000 on 1/3/2005. A diamond was embedded onto bracelet on 1/5/2007 of 50,000. Cost inflation index 2004 to 5 113 2007 8 to 8 129 and 2021 to 22 is 317. She received a gold coin bullion worth 55,000 fair market value from her cousin, daughter of uncle. during the previous year 2022 to 23. She incurred long-term loss from sale of share of the Indian company. The securities transaction tax is paid on the sale and purchase of the shares 75,000. She deposited a sum of rupees 50,000 with Life Insurance Corporation of India every year for the maintenance for her of her mother aged 70 years dependent upon him and suffering from severe disability. She purchased the new residential house during the previous year and paid stamp duty and registration fee rupees 1,55,000 to get transfer the property in her name. You are required to compute the income under the head PGBP and income from house property. Mrs. Nisha for the assessment year 2023 to 24. Ignore the provision of section 115 BSc. Give brief note wherever necessary.
Yeah, try this question. So this question, we are just going to take the net profit.
Sir, voice ரொம்ப லோவா இருக்கு.
Oh, sorry. Is it better now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here the net profit as per PNL is 5,61,000. So this 5,61,000 will come here. Okay. Since it is starting as per net profit as per PNL, two adds: amount debited to PNL but not deductible, amount not credited to PNL but taxable, amount not debited to PNL but deductible, amount credited to PNL and it is either exempt or it is taxable under a different. Okay, so there are totally 4 heads. First one, depreciation has not been debited to P&L account. The details of plant and machinery employed in the building are given as under. Opening WDV 4,75,000. New machinery purchased during the year 7,25,000. Of this 7,25,000, 20% is received as subsidy. Correct? So in the 7,25,000, 85%, 80%. This alone, it is to be treated as purchases. 5,80,000. 5,80,000 purchases. Next, sold one of the old machinery for 75,000. Since the block has not the block has not ceased to exist, it can be claimed as reduction. Minus 75,000. So this is going to be my closing WDV. 9,80,000. Depreciation at the rate of 15%, 1,47,000. Okay, wow. So even is in the business of manufacturing. And this is a machinery, hence additional depreciation is applicable. You can claim additional depreciation. Okay, 7,25,000. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So this, we were discussing about this. Since he's in the business of manufacture, we can claim additional depreciation at the rate of 20%. So this is the total depreciation of 2,63,000. So the 2,63,000 can be claimed as deduction. Okay. Next is, she paid a job charges of for value addition of fabrics 90,000 without deduction of taxes at source. So this 90,000, it is to be disallowed. So here it is not given whether it is paid to a resident or non-resident. I am assuming it to be resident. Okay, va? So இங்க இதில் என்ன கொடுத்திருக்குன்னா, she provides the following additional information those were not considered while making the profit and loss account. So the 90,000 வந்து it is not claimed as deduction first. It is not debited to P&L. So இங்க வந்து டோட்டலா இப்போ நமக்கு எவ்வளவு எக்ஸ்பென்ஸ் இருக்கு? We have 90,000 as expenditure. So இந்த 90,000ல 70% can be claimed as an expense. Correcta? So 90,000 into 0.7, 63,000. So 63,000 can be claimed as reduction, and the 63,000 தான் இங்க இருக்கு. Okay, this point is done. Commission paid to one agent allowed as reduction in the earlier assessment year amounting to rupees 50,000 has now been received back during the previous year 22-23 from the agent due to settlement with the commission agent. So this is to be treated as income, 50,000. Next, rupees 25,000 paid to creditor for goods in cash. So here what we should just check is whether it is to be taken up for 48.3 or not. It is to be taken up for 48.3. I guess it is just missed here. Yeah. So idhula enna point na, again the same point. These the following information were not considered while creating the profit and loss account. So in the 25,000 வந்து it is not already debited. So இது வந்து it is to be disallowed. இது வந்து நம்ம deduction claim பண்ணவே வேண்டாம். அதனால இந்த 25,000 no effect has been given. Next, she incurred a loss of rupees 1,17,500 from an eligible transaction carried out in respect of trading in a recognized stock exchange. So this is a non-speculative loss. This is not a speculative loss. இது வந்து non-speculative loss. So non-speculative loss அப்படின்றதுனால nothing needs to be done here. So that is to be taken as loss மட்டும் நம்ம வந்து PGBP காட்டணும். There is no doubts in it, but it is to be treated as separate business. So இது வந்து இந்த businessக்கு மட்டும் நம்ம போட்டுட்டு இருக்கோம். Separate business நீ வந்து trading in derivatives காமிச்சிட்டு, so this 1,17,500 can be claimed as loss. Next is rupees 60,000 premature deposit, nothing to do with PGBP. This is capital gains part, nothing to do with PGBP, so I'm not touching it. She received gold bullion worth rupees 55,000 from the cousin of daughter. So this is taxable in the income from other sources. She incurred long-term loss from sale of shares. STT is paid rupees 75,000. This is to be treated as capital gains, nothing to do with PGBP. Next, she deposited a sum of rupees 50,000 with LIC every year. So this one you can claim it as reduction under section 80C. She purchased a new residential house during the previous year and paid stamp duty and registration fees of 1,55,000. Nothing doing with this. So that's it. So total only 5,61,000 is the profit. Next is add 50,000. Subtract 3,26,000. So your income from PGBP will be 2,85,000. And this separate loss of 1,17,500 should also be shown as income from other business. Right. So is this question clear? Yes. Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Sir, incurred loss from other business என்ன சார் பண்ணணும்?
So இது ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்கா இது கீழே வந்து இது வந்து இந்த பிசினஸ்னு கொடுத்துடுறியா? பிசினஸ் ஃப்ரம் மேனுஃபேக்சரிங் நினைக்கிறாரு.
ஆமா சார்.
டெக்ஸ்டைல் ஃபேப்ரிக்ஸ்.
சார் இன்கம் ஃப்ரம் அதர் சோர்சஸ்ல டீல் பண்ணலாமா?
இல்ல that should not go for income from other sources because அது ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்கா அவங்க பிசினஸா கேரி அவுட் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. So you cannot take it to income from other sources. இது வந்து income from PGBP. Next வந்து loss from sale of derivatives. Assuming to be business. So in the loss of 1,17,500 will come. Minus 1,17,500. ஸோ இப்போ நீ நெட் இன்கம் போடுறச்சே இது ரெண்டுத்தையும் செட் ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டு போட்டுற வேண்டியது. அவ்வளோதான். ஓகே, clear?
Okay, sir.
Next question. Yeah, read this. Mr. Ashish, read this question.
Mr. Ashish, a resident individual aged 43 years, provides professional services in the field of interior decoration. His income and expenditure account for the year ended 31st March 2023 is as under. Expenditure income. To employee benefit expenses 13,66,000. To office and admin expenses 3,14,000. To general expenses 75,000. Electricity expenses 65,000. Medical expenses 80,000. Purchase of furniture to depreciation 48,000. Depreciation 90,000. Excess of income over expenditure 39,43,000. Consultancy charges 58,80,000. By interest on public provident fund account 60,000. By interest on savings bank account 20,000. By interest on national savings certificates 8 issue for third year 21,000. Total 59,81,000. The following other information relates to financial year 22-23. The expenses on employees' remuneration and benefits includes family planning expenditure of 20,000 incurred for the employees, which was revenue in nature. The same was paid through account payee check. Payment of salary of 25,000 per month to sister-in-law of Mr. Ashish, who was in charge of the accounts and receivables department. However, in comparison to similar work profile, the reasonable salary at market rate is 20,000 per month. Amount received by Mr. Ashish's employees' contribution to EPF for the month of February 23, 10,000 was deposited after the due date under the relevant act relating to EPF. Medical expenses of rupees 80,000 as appearing in the income and expenditure was expensed for the treatment of father of Mr. Ashish. His father was 72 years old and was not covered by any health insurance policy. The said payment of 80,000 was made through account payee check. General expenses as appearing in the income and expenditure account includes a sum of 25,000 paid to Mr. Anjalin on 5th January 2023 as commission for securing work from new clients. This payment was made to her without deduction of tax at source. Written down value of the depreciable assets as on 1st April 22 were as follows: professional books 90,000, computers 35,000. The new furniture as appearing in the income and expenditure account was purchased on 31st August 22 and was put to use on the same day. The payment was made under 18,000 paid in cash at the time of purchase of new furniture on 31st 8/22. 19,000 paid by account payee check on 5th 5/9/2022 as balance cost of new furniture, and 11,000 paid on cash on 31/8/22 to the transporter as freight charges for the new furniture. Mr. Ashish purchased a car on 2/4/2021 for 3,35,000 for personal use. However, on 30/4/2022, he brought his said car for use in his profession. The fair market value of the car as on 30/4/2022 was 2,50,000. Mr. Ashish made a contribution of 1 lakh in his PPF account on 31st 1/2023. The gross professional receipts of the Mr. Ashish for previous year 2021-22 was 52 lakhs. Compute his income under the PGBP and income from house property of Mr. Ashish for assessment year 2023-24, assuming that he has not opted for payment of tax under 115 BAC.
Okay. So as far as profit is concerned, 39 lakhs 43,000 is the profit. 39 lakhs 43,000. So next one, the expenses on family planning expenditure. So இங்கே நம்ம first அப்படியே ஃபுல்லாக கொஷின்ஸ் பார்த்துருவோம். எம்ப்ளாயி பெனிஃபிட் எக்ஸ்பென்சஸ், ஆஃபீஸ் அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேட்டிவ் எக்ஸ்பென்சஸ், general expenses, electricity expenses, medical expenses, purchase of furniture, depreciation, consultancy charges, interest on PPF, national savings account, இது அதுக்கப்புறமா வந்து நேஷனல் சேவிங் சர்டிஃபிகேட்லேருந்து வந்திருக்க இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட். Expenses on employee benefits and remuneration include family planning expenditure. So employee benefit expenses க்கு relevant ஆன adjustment number 1. Mr. Amount received by Mr. Asis as employee's contribution to EPF for the amount 10,000 was deposited after the due date. So இந்த ஒரு point we just need to check, but இதில் வந்து இது ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்காக எந்த இடத்துலையுமே இல்லை. So this is an adjustment which I should take care of. Third one, the medical expenses appearing in income and expenditure account was expensed for treatment of father of Mr. Ashish. So இதில் வந்து third adjustment. Next fourth adjustment, general expenses relevant on expenditure. Next வந்து WDV கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. So that is for computation of depreciation. Next new machinery purchase. So this is in relation to 6. எப்படி கேஷ் பே பண்ணிருக்காங்க அப்படின்றதுக்கு. நெக்ஸ்ட் வந்து கார் பர்ச்சேஸ். ஸோ தட் இஸ் ஆல்சோ கோயிங் டு பி இன் ரிலேஷன் டு டெப்ரிசியேஷன். ஹி மேட் அ கான்ட்ரிபியூஷன் ஆஃப் 1 lakhs. திஸ் இஸ் ஃபார் சாப்டர் 6. ரைட்டா? ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து நம்ம 39,43,000 எடுத்துட்டோம். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து எம்ப்ளாயி பெனிஃபிட் எக்ஸ்பென்சஸ் 13,66,000. 13,66,000ல family planning expenditure rupees 20,000 was incurred for employees, which was revenue in nature. The same was paid through account pay check. So since it is, I guess, just give me a minute. Just a minute, sorry. So இப்போ இங்கே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா family planning expenditure can only be claimed as an expense by the company. So இந்த கேஸில் வந்து this person is not a company, correct? So அதனால it cannot be claimed as deduction. This 20,000 cannot be claimed as deduction, number 1. Number 2, payment of salary of 25,000 per month to sister-in-law of Mr. Ashish, who was in charge of accounts receivable department. However, in comparison to similar work profile, the reasonable salary is 20,000 per month. So 5,000 per month நம்ம டிசலோவ் பண்ணணுமா அப்படின்ற ஒரு பாயிண்ட் இருக்கும். பட் அதில் வந்து ஒரு பாயிண்ட் என்னன்னா, if it is excessive on the basis of in the opinion of the assessing officer அப்படின்ற ஒரு பாயிண்ட் நம்ம கொண்டு போகலாம். So that is the reason like that has not been specifically allowed or disallowed here, right? So that is in relation to employee benefit expenses. Next, office and administrative expenses, no adjustment is required to be done. Next, amount received by Mr. Ashish as employee's contribution to EPF for the month of February 10,000 was deposited after the due date. So this 10,000 in entirety should be disallowed. Employees contribution, the due date is due date as per the specified act. Employers contribution, it is 139 due date as per 43B. This is 3615A employees contribution. So as per 3615A, the relevant date is the relevant date as per the specified act. Okay, so that the second point is done. Third point, medical expenses of 80,000 appearing was expense for the treatment of his father, 72 years old, was not covered by any health insurance. It was made by an account paycheck. So as far as this adjustment is concerned, since he is not covered by any medical insurance, you can claim it as expense under 80D. But business income la adu varadu. So adanala it is to be disallowed. This 80,000 it is to be disallowed. Okay. Next is general expenses include a sum of rupees 25,000 paid to Mrs. Angeline on 5th Jan 23 as commission for securing work from new clients. This payment was made without deduction of tax at source. So idhula vandu assuming her to be what resident, I am going to disallow it under 40A IA. And இங்க பார்த்தனா அவங்க preceding previous yearல வந்து her turnover has exceeded 52 lakhs. அதனால she is required to deduct TDS. So this 25,000 into 30% is to be disallowed, which is 7,500, and the 7,500 is disallowed. Next, WDB as on 1st April, professional books 90,000, professional books 90,000. Next, computers 35,000, computers 35,000. இந்த adjustment done. அதுக்கப்புறமா furniture purchase பண்ணிருக்காங்க, which is 48,000. So in the 48,000 வந்து it is paid 18,000 in cash, 19,000 account pay check, 11,000 in cash on 31/8/22 to transporter as freight charges. So இங்க வந்து put to use for more than 180 days. This is furniture. So if the amount is more than 10,000 and if it is paid in cash, you cannot claim it as cost. நம்ம cost ஓட definition பார்க்கறச்சேவே பார்த்தோம். If it is going to be more than 10,000 and if it is paid in cost, you cannot claim it as deduction. So what is the amount which can be claimed as addition is 19,000 only. And the 19,000 என்னன்னா account paid by account pay check. இது மட்டும் தான் நம்மளால claim பண்ண முடியும். This 19,000 alone can be claimed as cost. So the 19,000 cost எடுத்துறோம். So this adjustment is done. Next, Ashish purchased a car for 3,35,000 on 2/4/2021. On 34, he bought the said car. The fair market value was 2,50,000. So, but number 2,50,000 amount எடுக்க முடியாது. What you should do is, assuming this is the only car in the block, assuming this is the only asset in the block, from the date of purchase till the date when the asset is till the year in which the asset is brought into use, and the date வரைக்கும் you should provide depreciation, and அதில் வர WDV is to be treated as cost. ஓகேவா? ஸோ அந்த அமௌண்ட் வந்து உனக்கு 2,84,750 வரும். So from the date when the asset is purchased till today's date. So and the cost வந்து 2,84,000. That I'm just taking it up here. So now we have to compute depreciation. Car oda rate on the 15%, furniture 10%, computers and professional books 40%. So this is the entire depreciation, and the depreciation is coming here 94,613. Okay, this purchase of furniture cannot be claimed as deduction. This purchase of furniture is a capital expenditure, and this depreciation is as per Companies Act. அதனால அதையும் நம்மளால claim பண்ண முடியாது. 90,000 it is to be disallowed. So that's it. 39,43,000, and after making all these additions and these reductions, only ஒரு பாயிண்ட் மட்டும் நம்ம இன்னும் பார்க்கணும், the income side. So income side ல பார்த்தோன்னா consultancy charges it is to be treated as PGBP. This 60,000, 20,000 and 21,000, it has nothing to do with PGBP, so take it out. 60,000, 20,000, 21,000. So this is amount credited, it is not taxable under this set, so that is to be deducted. So your final answer will become 40,02,888. Is this question clear? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So I guess total four types of problems தான் இருக்கும். So அந்த 4 types நம்ம ஒன்று போட்டாச்சு. So what I'll do is I'll just share you all the other questions and answers. So எல்லாத்துக்குமே question with answer இருக்கும். I'll share you all
Okay,
those
sir.
questions with answers. We just try and solve it. Only doubts alone we'll just discuss here and after, right? Right, I'll just give you the answers also. Yeah. So with this, the problems on PGBP is done. In the next video, we'll just continue with the next chapter. Stop recording.